In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight on this Old Year's night, fireworks to light up the night sky along the island's coast to ring in the new year. Regathering kicks off with a motorcade and more. Barbados records a double-digit increase in visitor arrivals, and in sports, the two previously undefeated teams taste defeat in today's Bin 10.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
A pleasant good night to you on this, the final night of 2024. From St. Philip to St. Lucie, Barbados is set to have a total of 19 fireworks displays along its coastline to ring in the new year. Some of those locations are the Hilton, the Yacht Club, Seabreeze, Sugar Bay, Oceans 2, Sandals, Bougainvillea, The Cliff, Cobbler's Cove, Sandpiper Hotel, and the Botanical Gardens. For this kaleidoscope of explosive color to come off, several agencies have critical roles to play, among them the Barbados Fire Service. It gets involved in the process by inspecting and signing off on the pyrotechnic setups. Acting Fire Chief Henderson Patrick says there are quite a number of safety measures that have to be implemented before the fireworks light up the sky. He adds that among the considerations is the location of setup in relation to spectators and people in general. That's why he says in recent times more displays have been launched from the sea.
The patrons or anybody watching these are supposed to be upwind of the display. So you don't want to find yourself in a position where when the projectile has been launched and it is on its downward trajectory, that it comes in contact with you, because it will still burn. And again, you don't want it in the area of combustibles because it can still cause things to burn. So generally, for your own safety, you want to be upwind of that particular event. And you don't want to be in a position where if it is launched, you don't want to be close enough to it so that if it is launched and it's a misfire or any accident occurred there, that it has an impact on you.
Further, the acting chief says people having fireworks should inform those nearby of their intent.
They should at least notify the neighbors that we're going to be having this, that it is going to be done, so that the neighbors, they themselves, they might be sensitive to the explosions and so on, and they might very well choose to go and spend the time with their family in a different location or something like that, or put themselves in a position where the impact of the explosion does not affect them. And similarly, they can take care of their animals if they know that the animals are sensitive and things to that type of noise and so on. They should make preparations for the protecting of those animals as well.
The clarion call, "Come Long Home," inviting Barbadians far and wide to return to the island, will take on added significance tomorrow when Regathering 2025 officially kicks off. The first event is an island-wide motorcade to further raise awareness and spread the sense of excitement the year-long celebration is expected to generate. Well, joining us now to provide some details about the motorcade and the other planned events is Director of the Regathering Secretariat, Senator John King. Good evening to you, Senator King.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Now, for those who may not know, what is Regathering all about?
Regathering is a year-long celebration of Barbados, Barbadian history, Barbadian culture, and actually it's also a time when we stop and reflect and look to see what are those things that made us who we are, that we can look back and get those values to take us forward.
Okay. Now, who is it designed for primarily?
Well, if you've just been born, it's for you. And if you're 150, it's for you. It's for everybody. And it's a time when we're going to be asking all Barbadians to play their part in making it a success. And when I say a success, what am I talking about? I'm talking about not just going out to the events and that sort of stuff, but also being able to get back to some of the basics. And when I talk about the basics, I'm talking about when we were young, a time where we shared with each other, when everybody in the neighborhood was auntie and uncle, and they had the right to speak to you and to correct you when you did bad things. Those are the types of things that we're hoping to get Barbadians to embrace again, because those are the things that brought us to where we are today.
Now, what's the motive and purpose behind We Gathering?
All right, so if you talk about purpose, and I want to be very frank here when we talk about it, Barbados has changed a lot over the last 20 years, and we've been having a lot of problems, from gun violence to all sorts of other things. And I think this gives us an opportunity to pause, reflect, reset, and determine as a nation who we want to be. Do we want to be that zone of peace that you always hear people talk about within the region? Do we want to be those people who looked out for each other years ago, who made sure that if I didn't have sugar, you gave me sugar, and I gave you salt, or whatever it is. We bartered and we shared and we did those kind of things. And then you talk about business in terms of how we work with each other. You know, I always go back to many of us who live, especially in rural areas. Where we are today, we're responsible, or I should say, we owe a debt of gratitude to shopkeepers. Those were the people who would, as the old people say, trust that so you could get something to eat, you know? And these are the kind of values and the kind of things that we did that made us who we were back then. Cultural penetration is real, and a lot of things have changed over the years, but you always have to go back to your roots. What are the things that made you great, so to speak? And this is a time in We Gathering. So going back to church, you know, that was crucial and part and parcel of everybody growing up, where you're grounded in something. So it's all of that.
Okay.
It's business. It's bringing people from the diaspora home to reconnect with their roots. But really and truly, if I summed it up in one sentence, it would be bringing back community spirit.
I'm Barbadiana.
Exactly.
Now, talk us through the motorcade we're having tomorrow. Where will it start? Where is it going? And where will it end?
All right. So we're starting off in the car park of the National Cultural Foundation, and we're going to take the route which takes us to Botanical Gardens, where on each stop we're going to be there for just about 15 to 20 minutes, because we're going to go island-wide, and we're going to be touching every single parish. So Botanical Gardens is going to be our first stop. Then we go over to Oystins in Christchurch, Curtains in St. Philip, and we work our way into Poolwoods in St. John. Then we're going into St. George, then into St. Thomas, across to St. Andrew. Oh man, this is
really an excursion.
It's an excursion. It's like an old-time excursion. So along those routes, though, we're going to be making some stops, and on those stops, that's where we're going to be giving out some paraphernalia. We'll be talking to people about We Gathering. That's where they can get information on how can they get involved, because lots and lots of people have been calling and asking, how do we get involved? And so this gives us the opportunity as the Secretariat and persons working with us to meet the public and to share that information and really, you know, get people totally consumed with 2025 being the year of We Gathering.
Okay, and finally, what are the major expectations coming out when we've done all 11 parishes?
When we've done all 11 parishes, I think one of the major things that we're hoping to achieve is, one, community cohesiveness. Two, being able to have a better understanding of our diaspora. What are the skills that are in the diaspora that we can use in terms of national development? Again, bringing back that community spirit and getting Barbadians to go back to the time when they were philanthropic, where they could help each other and do things like that. But at the end of it all, it is really, in my mind, a chance for us to redefine who we are as a people.
And let's hope that everybody jumps on board and is a part of the gathering. I want to thank you so much for coming, and I wish the Secretariat well.
Thank you very much.
Senator John King. Vendors are among those hoping to benefit from the We Gathering 2025. That's according to President of the Barbados Association of Retailers, Vendors and Entrepreneurs, Alistair Alexander. He tells CBC News vendors are willing and ready to be a part of the government-led initiative.
The gathering, for as far as the market is concerned, the vendors are the spirit of the nation. In Barbados' opinion, the spirit of the nation. We carry the living culture, right? The cultural heritage of Barbados, and the nostalgia for persons returning coming into our market will not be able to be contained.
Meanwhile, Mr. Alexander says despite a scarcity of local produce, vendors were able to reap favorable sales this Christmas season. He says vendors were able to sell imported fruits and vegetables.
Every local vegetable was actually scarce. I cannot think about a local vegetable that was plentiful. Okay, so it is the imported stuff that the vendors had to sell, right? And obviously they would have sourced them, you know, from the importers, and therefore they would have had a supply, but that would have been foreign supply to service their customers, and they would have done well.
Mr. Alexander says vendors are now looking forward to a productive 2025 when locally grown produce becomes plentiful again. The island has seen a 28% increase in arrivals from North America, elevating Barbados' status as a premier luxury Caribbean holiday destination. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Javon Griffith, in his New Year's message, says overall there has been an uptick which benefited all stakeholders. From January to November, Barbados welcomed a total of 617,228 stayover arrivals, according to the Barbados Statistical Service. This is up 10% from the 559,701 stayover arrivals recorded for the same period in 2023. Coming up, efforts continue to tackle increasing homelessness. The Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness has seen an increase in the number of people checking in at its 24-hour homeless shelter in 2024. President Kimar Safri says at least one new person per day walked into the Spry Street facilities this year, while approximately 20 persons call inquiring about how they can be accommodated there. He tells CBC News this is a reflection of the state of homelessness on the island, which government, his organization and other agencies are seeking to address.
On a monthly basis, we have a number of calls. What we decided to do is change our strategy, in that not every case is to be handled by the Alliance, and we direct them to different agencies that can help. So on average, we are still getting between 20 to 30 calls a month. We've seen just about 20 persons, other than the calls, or some within the calls, on a monthly basis seeking shelter here, who would visit and try to get the assistance from the organization. So this is a whopping number there that we are seeing, and that we would like to see a decrease in, but we understand the circumstances that surround why people become homeless.
And in September 2023, government announced that it will be pumping $252,000 into the operations of the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness to transition its 90-bed shelter to a 24-hour facility. According to Mr. Safri, the additional funds from the state have been a significant help, especially as it relates to meeting the needs of clients on a 24-hour basis.
And we find that it's helping a lot with the being able to give them the rehabilitation programs, being able to, counsel them, give them the guidance that they would need. So we find that having them here on the compound is much, much easier to deal with them and to be able to see the success, because we had a lot of successes this year in terms of our clients that are working. We still have a lot of persons calling us offering jobs, and so I think we have about 50 to 60 jobs on the books that we are still trying to fill at this moment with the clients, but we have to get them to a point of readiness.
Earlier, we told you that the island has seen a 28% increase in arrivals from North America, elevating Barbados' status as a premier luxury Caribbean holiday destination. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Javon Griffith, in his New Year's message, says overall there has been an uptick which benefited all stakeholders.
This 28% increase in North American visitors to our shores is being positively felt in every corner of the tourism industry and across our membership. From the restaurants to the car rental firms, from the surf instructors to the taximen, from the villa management companies to the hotels, and from the beach vendors to the merchants in Bridgetown. This is being driven by the return of American Airlines to Barbados from New York, JFK, and Philadelphia.
Patrons attending this year's annual Black and Silver All Year's Night Ball have the opportunity to win one of 200 scratch tickets. The lucky patrons will be among the first 200 people who pay at the door. This year, the event takes place at the George Street Auditorium, Belleville, St. Michael. And promoter of the event, Terry Toyan Bino, tells what's in store.
It never happened before in Barbados. So this one is creating history, I would say, in Barbados for this All Year's Night. Plus, we also are giving away a wig that worth about $250. So when you come to George Street Auditorium this All Year's Night, you can get your worth for your money. The starting time is 6 p.m., it's $5 before 7 p.m., $10 before 8 p.m., $15 before 9, and the general admission is just $20 Barbados. I call this dance the poor people dance because this is the dance that people look forward for every All Year's Night. And they expect All Year to be jam-packed. This All Year's Night.
Courts Superstore will be opening a new outlet in 2025. The announcement from Managing Director Tricia Tannis. While not disclosing the location, she said it is one of the big moves Courts will be making during its 60th anniversary next year.
More than celebrating the pomp and pageantry of our diamond anniversary, the coming year will be one of retail transformation, during which we will open a brand new store, leverage new technologies, infrastructure, and sales approaches to revolutionize the way we serve you in store, online, and after sales. What will never change, though, is Courts' commitment to bringing the unique Barbadian lifestyles you enjoy, desire, and value within your reach.
Ms. Tannis was speaking at the Courts year-end concert held at the Globe Drive-In. It was part of Courts' commitment to giving back to its customers. Several local artists and groups provided entertainment for the audience.
With this awesome evening of musical entertainment, prizes, and giveaways. It is our way of saying a big thank you for your continued support and patronage. And as we usher in the new year, rest assured that Unicommer Barbados Limited will be here to embrace and uplift all Barbadians as we continue to bring value home. I take this opportunity on behalf of the management and staff, directors of Unicommer Barbados Limited to wish you, your family, and the entire nation a safe, blessed, and prosperous 2025.
Members of the audience received over $10,000 in big prize presentations and audience giveaways. Barbados has been experiencing a shortage of food to supply the island's colonies of bees. And beekeeper David Small says this is the longest period for such an occurrence since he started beekeeping bees in the 1970s. Rachel Agard visited the apiary at High Point Farms in St. Thomas and files this report.
The dearth of nectar and pollen on island can be attributed to the excessive rainfall Barbados has experienced in recent months. This is according to beekeeper David Small, who says there are fewer natural sources of food for bees.
The Christmas bush which we normally start to bloom around in October, early November, hasn't started blooming as yet. And that's one of the crops that the bees would depend on during the Christmas period to carry them over to spring. It just means that the beekeepers have to start feeding using like a use sugar solution, either 70-30 or 50-50, and that will help the bees. Like you put gasoline in your car to make it a fine example. You put gasoline in your car to give the energy for the car to move from point A to point B. Then you feed your bees the sugar solution that will give them the energy so that as soon as the dearth is over to go and start bringing nectar.
Lead officer for apiculture in the Ministry of Agriculture, Bernard Thompson, says as a result, the bees have been seeking other sources of food.
A lot of the school population, in terms of the kids, would use a lot of sweet things, pastries, sweet drinks, the Kool-Aids, etc. The bees, when they actually deposit those things in the bins, the bees will follow because the bees are hungry and they need that. Like David said, they need that sweet, sugary substance for energy.
And Mr. Small advises the public not to swat bees or interfere with hives if they encounter them.
Bees reproduce by swarming. In that case, what is going to happen if the container or the tree or wherever the bees are becomes what we call congested, overcrowded? They're going to start to form a queen. The old queen will leave and new queen will stay, and then the bees will go look for somewhere to set up shop. Yeah? My advice would be to folks that see the bees, call a professional. Don't try dealing with the bees yourself.
The beekeepers are hopeful the colonies will rebound in 2025. They will also be offering classes for those interested in apiculture. Risha Legard, CBC News.
Sports time now, and we'll join Mark Seal in the Sports Center.
Very good evening to everyone. Two-time defending champions Settlers lost for the first time in the 2024-2025 BIM 10 tournament, going down today to the Warriors at Windward. Settlers batted first and posted 105 for 4 in their 10 overs. Kevin Wickham top scoring with 44 that included 6 fours and a 6, while Kevin Stout was unbeaten on 33. Zion Brathwaite took 2 for 17. Warriors in reply brought the equation down to 13 off the final over, and Kimar Smith struck 14 off the last 3 deliveries for Warriors to end on 111 for 8 and win by 2 wickets. Smith was unbeaten on 21, while player of the match Raymond Kelman made 43 with 4 fours and 4 sixes. Marlon Welcome Goodman took 4 for 12. We have highlights from that final innings.
Whipped away into the hands, the welcoming hands of deep mid wicket.
Short again, dispatch one bounce into the deep backward square leg boundary. Short again, going out of the Wimber cricket ground. 2 fall on that occasion. It goes for maximum on the Dream 11 side. Slow delivery there. That's taking the pace off of that delivery. Kelman is going. Talk about a top shot. Short delivery is up in the air. Would he be up caught? Caught on ball by Kevin Beck, and he's bumped out.
Right-hander at the wicket has bend.
Gone behind the cameraman on the northern end of this cricket ground.
Chance for a catch. Curtin does it brilliantly.
Beautifully played by Kimar Smith. Nicked off by Zidane Clark.
Smacked.
Here it is going and gone for maximum.
Expect it to be given a lot of ear. We'll be looking to dart the ball in.
All right, you good.
Gets his man. What he does with the first delivery is it straight into the hands of Kadeem Allen from 9 balls. And the hat trick is taken. And he does bowl full on that all-stop, and Smith smashed it, sent spectators scattering much. And clipped away. That has gone wide and far. A heroic innings here by Kemar Smith. 6s off the last 2 deliveries. The Warriors, the first team to defeat the defending champions in this year's competition.
Settlers, however, are still leading by virtue of having the best net run rate, as they, the Warriors, and second-place Pelicans all have 12 points. I'll take a break here and come back with part B of that BIM 10 story.
70% of your immune system resides in your gastrointestinal tract.
Don't let digestive discomfort hold you back. Take control of your health with Probiotic XL. Hurry, available only while stocks last. Don't miss out on feeling better now.
Now, we were speaking about the Pelicans. They were the other previously undefeated team, but also lost today, going down to Guardians in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Guardians made an impressive 132 for 2. Player of the match, Rashawn Williams, batted through the innings for an unbeaten 86, that included 8 4s and 6 6s. Pelicans fell 8 runs short on 124 for 6. Zach McCaskey made 65 with 4 4s and 7 6s, while Jatario Prescott took 2 for 18. We have highlights from the chase.
First time he goes into the turf, but using the pace of the bowler McCaskey. This time in much better control. Keep it in your half, McCaskey tells Austin. Pitched up, it's gone high. Simple catch from pace to spin. And the spin is hit into the gap between mid-wicket and long on.
Short again. And dispatch for Maximum over the field at deep mid-wicket.
Into his shot, lots of it.
Short again, and dispatch over deep mid-wicket.
And this time, this one has gone long and all the way, 51 for 1. Again, he's going to try to repeat the shot, and this time Roberts is going to make it an easy take.
Short delivery. Stuff and caught.
Continue at such a rate. If
short delivery.
And he's gone the aerial route, a route that takes the ball over the fence. And he's taken.
Yes!
But Carlos Brathwaite gets it in the region finally. Walks across his wicket and helps it away over the deep forward square position. And the reefer goes all the way. And there he goes again. He's done it again. He's got it again, a diving effort, magnificently taken on the mid-wicket boundary by Taj Tavernier. That should do it for the Guardians. Final rights plus on this 10th match is smashed away by Carlos Brathwaite for 6, but all in a losing cause.
In the second half of sports, we'll have the Big Bash League and the NBA, but Wendy, until then, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Up next on CBC's Newsnight, the Business Report. In tonight's Business Report, bringing thoughts to reality. That's the purpose of TBW Content Studio. Lucius Louis is the brains behind the relatively new business located at Block 3D Silver Hill Drive, Christchurch. He talks to Trevor Thorpe about the operation on tonight's Yes Business Report.
New to the business world, the young entrepreneur tells the Yes Business Report he is more than a videographer, but a content creator. However, in discussing the new enterprise, he said he is not daunted by the many players already in the market.
TBW stands for the Bajan Wizard, and I'm the Bajan Wizard. The reason I call myself that and the reason why I name my business that is because when it comes to content creation, I'm looking to unlock the magic of content creation, and for me, magic is taking thoughts from idea into reality, and I do that through the three-stage process of pre-production, production, and post-production to take my thoughts, bring them into reality through the medium of video. So the Bajan Wizard, wizards deal with magic, I deal with the magic of content creation.
The content creator says he is not in the business alone and is creating a team to help deliver on the various projects.
I'm about not just creating content, but creating a network of people that all work together in the content creation space, so then I can have access to people with this relevant skills such as editor, while also giving access to other people who will want to be able to connect with people in the space so that they can create the content. So it isn't just about me creating my own content, it's about creating a network of people in the space so that we can be able to help each other.
Mr. Louis says creating content is a demanding job, and the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme has provided him with the tools for the rigors of the industry.
It assisted me in two main ways. The first way, which I think is honestly the most important, is getting me in a group with like-minded individuals, all people that have businesses that got the entrepreneurial goal and push, because, as I say, this journey is difficult. And in the moments when you are having tough times, you have those like-minded individuals who have been through that can help pull you forward. So that's one way, yes, has helped me. The second way, it has given me basically a roadmap on how to do business, but not just how to do business correctly. So it allows me to not make the mistakes that a lot of people that come before me made. I can learn from them, learn how to do business correctly so that I can have an easier time, not an easy time because entrepreneurship is not easy, but have an easier time going through the process of becoming an entrepreneur.
He believes he has left nothing to chance and has all areas covered.
In terms of social media, I have two social media pages. My personal, Lou the Bajan, that's L-U-I, the Bajan, and then for my business, it will be the Bajan Wizard. So you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Lou the Bajan, that's L-U-I, the Bajan, or the Bajan Wizard. And in terms of contact information, you can email me, same louthebajan@gmail.com or thebajanwizard@gmail.com. And my personal cell phone number is 847-1759. So that's how you can contact me.
And Mr. Louis has advice for anyone thinking about getting into business.
Business is about struggle, is about sacrifice. But if you have a goal and an ambition that you believe wholeheartedly you can achieve, it's for you, and the only wrong answer is to give up. You can do it. It's all about asking yourself, are you willing to make the sacrifices that are necessary to be able to achieve your goal?
He says TBW Content Studio is in the building mode and looking to attract sponsorship deals to assist with the road ahead. Trevor Thorpe.
That's business. We'll take a break and be back with the weather. And we say good evening to Carrie-Ann O'Neill. Carrie-Ann here's hoping that as we usher out this old year and usher in the new, we'll have some clear skies to enjoy the fireworks.
Indeed, Wendy. In fact, tonight we are expecting mostly clear and cool conditions. I know you'll love that. Good evening to you and good evening, everyone. Well, today in Barbados, that ridge pattern was our dominant feature. As a result, we had mostly sunny skies. Now, the winds, they're quite light at this time. Those seas, they're quite choppy around the island, and convergence maintained some isolated thunderstorms across the Guianas. The maximum temperature today was 29 degrees Celsius, the minimum 22 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 25 degrees Celsius, the relative humidity 75%, the winds they're coming in from the east. We take a look now at some atmospheric conditions across the region. Those temperatures are ranging from just around 20 to 26 degrees Celsius. Now, the humidity shows moisture is building over there in Antigua, St. Lucia, also Trinidad, and the winds light to moderate across the region. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where the ridge pattern was our dominant feature. We had mostly sunny skies here in Barbados. Those winds are peaking at 50 knots for us. The seas moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. And tonight, Old Year's Night, we are expecting mostly clear as well as cool conditions here in Barbados. Further south, convergence maintained isolated thunderstorms across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, light showers prevailed across most of the islands. Well, that's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 6:20 and set at 5:43. The first high tide is expected at 5:26 in the early morning, the first low at 10:22 a.m. Now those seas, moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. Once again, you are reminded that choppy seas are being experienced around Barbados. The winds are coming in from the east-northeast to the east, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect mostly clear and cool conditions. And over the next 3 days, including tomorrow, New Year's Day, we are expecting partly cloudy skies along with just a few light showers.
And we say welcome back to Mark Seal. This time, I believe we're going down under.
Yes, the Big Bash League. West Indies all-rounder Fabian Allen and his Adelaide Strikers continue to have a horrid time at the Big Bash League, losing for the 4th time in 5 matches today. Playing at Adelaide Oval, the hosts were sent into bat by Perth Scorchers, and they scored 142 for 8 from their 20 overs. But that was a relatively good score, seeing they were 58 for the same 8 after 10.2 overs. Brendan Doggett top scored with 47 not out, as he and Cameron Boyce with 29 not out put on 84 for the unbroken 8th wicket partnership. Jai Richardson took 3 for 29. In reply, Scorchers got home on 146 for 3 from 14.3 to win by 7 wickets. Player of the match, Cooper Connolly, made 48 not out. That included 3 4s and 2 6s. That result leaves Allen and the Strikers 1 position from the bottom on 2 points with a 1-4 record, while Scorchers are now in 2nd spot on 6 points with a 3-2 record. Now the basketball, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going into the 2025 year as the top team in the NBA. Last night they defeated the Golden State Warriors by 18 points to move their record to 28-4, which is a game and a half ahead of their nearest rivals, the Oklahoma City Thunder. On behalf of the entire sports department, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year and a blessed 2025. Wendy, is over to you.
Thank you so much, Mark, and here's extending the same to you. We'll return after the break. As we here in Barbados get ready to welcome the new year, it has already arrived in some parts of the world. So as we wish you a safe and joyous All Year's Night celebration,